The world is changing and many people are living in fear. Join me on this journey as we find new ways to love more, celebrate life, and connect with our body, mind, and our souls. Together we'll let go of fear and embrace our power. Welcome to Fearless Spirit with Tara Cridland. Hi, welcome back. This is episode 2 of episodes of the 5-part series episode. And today I want to talk to you about aligning with your higher purpose and your spiritual connection with that. So understand the concept of higher purpose, right? What is that? Now, a lot of us mistake with what a mission is versus a purpose, right? So many people's mission is to change as many lives as possible through offering, and this is like a mission of mine, right? To change as many lives, radically empowering people with high quality content that allows them to do their own internal healing work and to release all the fears and come back into deep power within themselves to live the most authentic, healed, whole version of themselves. Now that sounds really wonderful, like it's a purpose. Kind of is. There's a little bit of purpose in there. But really what's in there is my mission. My highest purpose is to live my life deeply connected to source energy and be in that state of love. Now, I channeled a message yesterday that is going to be included. It's not going to be included in the podcast today for sake of time and because there is some information in there that's a little bit triggering. And so I am going to make that available in the show notes for you to get the link, and you can go to my website and download that for free. I do encourage you, however, to self-regulate. There's a little bit of information in there that I listen to I'm used to that resonates with me, but it might be new for you and it might be a little activating. So just being aware of that is not big stuff, but it is enough for you to go, what? But then how come? Why is? So what I invite you to do is just listen with an open heart. Understand that spirit and what they know and see from a higher perspective is very different than what we as humans see, because we're living in this physical body and we have opinions and experiences and belief systems based on our dense, physical, limited experiences. Spirit that comes from a higher state, a more ascended state, they are in connection with source energy at all times, and they see and know more of the spirit world. We like to humanize everything, but in the spirit world, we're not human. And so just keeping that in mind if you listen to it. So understanding the concept of higher purpose, what does it mean and how do you discover it? In this message, which I resonated personally with because this is my realization that I have personally come to from being in my own healing journey and realizing, oh my gosh, this is my higher purpose, is to literally be coming from a deep connection of source energy and coming from a state of love. That seems so umbrella. It seems so like, oh, that's it. And in many ways, yes, that's it. But it's not, because we're human. And so just like last episode, I talked about radical self-responsibility. Now moving into connecting to what your higher purpose is. If we as humans are meant to come into this world to live and to remember who we are, which is we are all divine beings. And we are here then to come into this beautiful state of love. It is a very different state of love that we as humans are familiar with. So the state of love is literally pure love. There is no judgment. There is no criticism. There's no limitation. There's no punishment. There's no anger. There's no jealousy. There's no hate. There's no grief. There's no sadness. It's just pure love. We as humans have a lot of expectation and conditions that we've put on ourselves and others around us in order to be loved. This is not Creator's version of love. So coming into that, the concept of higher purpose is your existence is part of your purpose. The fact that you exist is part of your purpose. To create experiences in your life that allow for soul growth from the experience of being human. So if you do not believe you're lovable, then part of your journey and your higher purpose is to do your healing work so that you remember that you are love, therefore you are lovable. It's to expand more, to expand our soul, to get it in that higher state of consciousness where we are connected to source energy and that state of love. So what are some of the examples of that, right? So if we are walking around deeply wounded and in trauma, we are not capable at that time to really love at this higher state of love. Now, this is not the love and light, all is well version, right? That is also what's called spiritual bypassing. This state of love is being radically self-responsible of doing all of your healing work, shifting your behavior so that they become really healthy and interdependent versus codependent, dismantling your belief systems that are not loving, that are full of colonialism, that are full of hatred, biasness, racism, ageism, classism. We all have this. None of us are uniquely free of this as a human. And so becoming aware with the state of love that those exist and willingness to go in and heal these aspects of ourselves. This starts to clear the air. I know I talk about this a lot, but this is why this radical self-responsibility is really coming up. Even the collective that I channel, they talk about radical self-responsibility. What I have experienced personally is that the more I dive into my healing work, the more I become radically self-responsible for how I was responsible for certain situations, or even just allowing them to happen for my soul's growth, and being willing to take the responsibility to heal myself, to educate myself, to do the things I need to do to regulate my nervous system. It has allowed me to have room to develop this sense of higher purpose of being in the state of love. And that's not always easy. When you're faced with, like, example, you get in a car accident, right? Everybody's in high alert. People are mad now because you should have been looking, but it's just an accident, right? Somebody had an off day or somebody moved and didn't see you. Usually accidents are truly just accidents. People aren't trying to do it on purpose, but somehow we want to blame the others. How dare you hurt me? Or you get really injured and you're very angry and hateful that you got injured. You can stay there and you're not in a state of love. Or you can do what it takes to heal your body, heal your emotions, heal the trauma that allows your soul to expand out further and see the bigger picture. This has been an eye-opening experience for me in the last year. There's a lot of political turmoil and world turmoil happening. And what I'm going to share with you isn't that I'm not aware that I'm ignoring it, because I'm not. I'm fully aware of all these things happening. But I have got to a state now where I've healed so much of my body that I can see the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is that I deeply care for all those that are suffering. But I also understand that my only space of responsibility is what I can do as an individual in this world. And so the way I help the world at this time, it doesn't resonate for me to go out and protest, because in that energy, I'm coming from a sense of anger and hate. But what I can do is I work with small groups, individuals, and trainings to teach people how to learn how to heal themselves so that they start to come back into a state of love for themselves and love for others. So I heal myself every day by choice. And I offer tools to those who really want them, for them to come and show up and to heal themselves, to come into deep empowerment, freedom in their lives, for them to be able to have really healthy, interdependent relationships, for them to be able to have really healthy, strong boundaries in the physical and the spiritual world, to release the fears of these fear-based beliefs from folklore and religion and all these things that have made us the other, right? So when we are out there, this is why a lot of this stuff is happening. I see the bigger picture. The bigger picture is a lot of the world has forgotten that we are divine beings, that we are all one. And what I mean by that is we are all source energy, all having individual experiences. So that means you're not better than me and I'm not better than you. You might look different than me and you might have different cultural experiences. So I get to appreciate that and I get to learn about you and I get to see you as a unique, beautiful, amazing person and being. And I also know that at the end of the day, when I'm at this state of this higher consciousness, like I guess more like 5D consciousness, is I am you and you are me. So if I'm hurting you, I'm hurting me. If I'm hating on you, I'm hating on myself. And if I'm judging you, I'm judging me. And so when I catch myself doing those kind of behaviors, I get to look at that and say, okay, I'm not a bad person, but that behavior wasn't good. How do I heal it and how do I change it? And then for me, because I'm a natural teacher and I do attract people, so that's part of my higher purpose. Part of my higher purpose is that I have a natural ability to create a beautiful, safe space for others to come into, where with so much love and patience, I can give them the tools and they get to heal if they choose to do so. And when they do that, that spreads. So that's how I help the world. That's how I help all that's going on. I also know that the bigger picture is that we're in the middle of an awakening. And no matter what happens, even now with the election, no matter who gets put in office, there's still awakenings happening. If someone awful gets put in office, it's just going to wake up more people. Yes, there are going to be some hard times and there's going to be some things happening, but they're already happening. This is not, the bigger picture is understanding that this is already happening, and who gets put in the figurehead charge space is not going to actually make any bigger of a difference than what's already happening. But everything that is happening because we are actually waking up, because us as humans, and I'll be really honest here, we don't learn unless we're in pain. And so, yeah, suffering is horrible, and I don't want to see people suffer. But I, as one person, can't stop millions of people. But what I can do is I can work with you, and with you, and with you, and with you, and all of us can heal together. And then each one of you go out and work with individuals, and it starts to spread. And that eventually becomes millions of people. And so understanding the bigger picture is that if I work individually with others or small groups and I create these training programs, that in my higher purpose, I'm teaching others to become fully healed and whole versions of themselves that come back to source energy and love. And by doing that, we're making a difference. And so that's my higher purpose. How does that show up for me? And I share myself because I'm not going to tell you who you are because I don't know you. You know you. Even if you give me information about yourself, you're still not sharing all of you. We as humans are really good at keeping certain things back, right? So nobody knows us at the depths that we know ourselves. So what I can do is I can share my own personal experiences and the experiences of people I've worked with that I know I have working knowledge of. And then you as an individual and listener get to hear that and see if some of it resonates with you. And if it does, then this will inspire you and you'll have a clear picture on what to do next. And if it doesn't, there's a lot of other podcasts and other coaches out there that might speak to you more clearly. And that's beautiful. There's enough to make the world go round. One of the things I know is that we are here because we matter. You are literally matter. So when people say I don't matter, I invite you to reconsider that. If we're looking like scientifically, you're literally matter. So therefore you matter because you are matter. You were created on this planet to exist. And the fact that you exist means that you are divine, therefore you matter. You living your purpose means that you exist. Living your highest and aligning with your higher purpose means if I want to come back to that source energy and state of love, I need to, and I get to, clear away all the things that have been blocking me. So becoming really radically responsible means like being open to whatever your beliefs are. I believe in past life, in reincarnation, because I've had experiences and I have memories of it. And there's things I brought over into this life. Why? Because I wasn't done learning it. I chose to bring them into this life. So I get to heal that. I get to heal ancestral woundings. That's something that's been coming up big. I realized that as much as I've done all this different money healing and all that, my guide downloaded into me when I was having my big rupture a couple of weeks ago, that there's an ancestral curse. And what is that? An ancestral curse is not a curse. It's ancestral trauma that feels like a curse. And what that is my DNA and my energy and my belief systems got formed based on generations of trauma. We can dive into so much, and we will. We're going to actually, I'm putting together this amazing foundational course. It's like a beginner foundational course for 5D conscious leader, or people who want to, in particular, female body beings who want to come into a 5D leadership state. And we talk about ancestral trauma, and we talk about the science behind it. So I won't go into it for the sake of the episode today, but I definitely will talk about it there. And I might bring it up in a different series. So understanding that we get to recognize where we are. Oh, and I have the most amazing, let me find it. This is going to blow your mind because it blew my mind. We hear karma, right, and fate. So I recently just certified in trauma-informed coaching. I've been trauma-informed for years, but I just got officially certified. And I really loved it because I found a different school. It's a couple of therapists in Australia who were both, recovering and recovered addicts, as well as trauma specialists and psychologists. So they created this amazing school. And they had this trauma-informed coaching program, certification program they did. So I did that. And so I want to read, let me find this because this is great. I actually recorded an entire episode and I just felt like I went on too many tangents. So I'm re-recording and I'm so glad because now I'm so much more clear. Sometimes I have to do that. So belief. So this is, and why is it so important? Okay, I'm going to break it down. It is so important because if you're aligning with your higher purpose, a lot of this has to be cleared out first before you get there. Beliefs. This is childhood experiences stored. There's some of your first experiences that create the beliefs. Like, for example, when you're a little kid, maybe you touched a hot stove and it burnt your hand. And immediately your body said, hot stove equals injury and pain. And you won't ever repeat that, right? So your body then stores a belief system that stoves are hot. Really simple. This is where we start to form our belief systems. Many people form their core belief systems that are painful narratives. They call it painful narratives. So most of our belief systems are around fear and pain when we're little. These are the limiting beliefs, right? We have a lot of positive beliefs, and we'll touch on that, but this is usually what blocks us from living in our higher purpose. So painful narratives, it's part of a trauma response. So if you are touching a stove and you burn your hand, you immediately form the belief that stoves are hot. This wasn't a thought process. It was an embodiment experience. If you have an experience where your parent then, maybe you're a little kid and your parent yells and screams at you over something. Now, mind you, a lot of parents will do that when they're scared, but as a little kid, you don't know that. You just know suddenly you got screamed and yelled at for something that was innocent in your eyes. And now suddenly your body forms a belief that men or women or parents are bad, right? They can't be trusted. They're going to do something that's going to be deeply betraying. That will then create a trauma response in your body, and it stores it as a belief system. It then creates dysfunction later in life. Our experiences and our perception of what we had experienced creates generalized beliefs. So why is that important to aligning with your higher purpose? Well, if you are having these belief systems that are painful narratives and limiting beliefs, you won't have that openness or capacity to be connected to your higher purpose, which is source energy and love. So a generalized belief would be women can't be trusted, men can't be trusted, I can't be trusted. Stoves are dangerous. Every stove is dangerous. Now you don't ever want to touch a stove, so you don't learn how to cook, because now you have this core belief that all the stoves are dangerous instead of it just being that one incident, right? When you have that now as a painful narrative that's running in the background in your subconscious, so you're not conscious of it, you then start looking for evidence to prove that belief to be true. So as you do that, you're constantly looking over your shoulder for those people that aren't trusted or the danger that's about to happen all the time. And you start to attract those people into your life that will reinforce this belief. Why is this important for aligning with your higher purpose? Well, if you're having these experiences, you're not open and available to connect to your higher purpose. You're not attached to your body. You're constantly looking for danger. You're constantly looking for betrayal. You're constantly looking for untrustworthy behavior. You're pulling it in so that you can reinforce your belief system to say, see, I knew it was true. Our survival mechanisms are in place literally for survival. So your belief systems that we form as children, they have nothing to do with peacefulness or happiness. They are literally for your survival. The problem is as we get older and wiser, we're still engaging in these things. This doesn't allow us to connect to our higher purpose. It will spread out into, so this now goes into your personal life and in your professional life. So personal life and professional life on this, it will literally spread out to all aspects of our lives. It's not going to just be in, okay, the stove is dangerous, or women can't be trusted, or men can't be trusted. It's now going to spread out into life can't be trusted. My job can't be trusted. My position can't be trusted. I can't trust to keep my job without getting fired. I'm going to be constantly looking for the danger or being fearful of being written up at all times. I'm going to keep getting jobs that I'm not happy in, because then I can prove that they're not trustworthy, that I can't trust my own decision-making to get myself a good job. So as you see that in your professional life as well as your personal life, I can't trust my team to do their job well. I can't trust my employees. If you're in management, if you become a conscious leader, if you are someone who is, even parents, my kids never listen to me. My kids don't do right. They are just wild and out of control. Not really. They're not actually. They're just trying to get your attention. They're asking for connection time, right? But we don't understand that, because we're living in a state of these core beliefs that we're living out and looking for the evidence to support the belief system, not the evidence to support the opposite. This will begin to keep you separate from others, from life, and from ourselves. And if you're separate from others, your life, and from yourself, ourselves, then you are not able to align with your higher purpose. Because if you are not even connected to yourself, connected to life, connected to others, there's no way that you'll know what your higher purpose is, because you're not connected to it. It keeps you separate and isolated. There's so many people have depression right now. They feel so separated. And this is part of it, is because these are showing up. You consciously will say all the time, I want this to be different. I want to know, what is my purpose? How can I align and live my purpose, right? You keep saying that. And yet those subconscious belief systems, those painful narratives keep playing over and over again in the background, so that you're not able to create this knowingness of what your higher purpose is. We begin to make the most out of these experiences that are fear-based and that create these narratives that reinforce the belief system. This begins to create a buffer, right? Can't be trusted, will be hurt. Buffer between you and the world. This creates your identity. Something's wrong with me. I can't ever attract healthy relationships, healthy work environments. I can't ever seem to get that raise. I can't find a job. Nobody wants to hire me. These are all narratives that are playing out based on that belief system that you created unknowingly in your body, not in your mind. It wasn't conscious. that prevents you from moving forward. I always fail at fill in the blank. I'm not worthy. I'm not lovable. I don't deserve it. Right? All of those are blocking you from living and aligning with your higher purpose. You're going to constantly view the world through this functional lens, this filter, right? You're going to see everything as evidence, and you're only going to pay. And now here's what's interesting. Have you ever noticed? So, if you've ever been someone who tried to do manifestation, right? And you were like, I want this car, and I'm going to now sit and visualize this car in this color. Like about 3 years ago, my kids had all, no, 4 years? Oh, it's been longer than that. Oh my gosh, 5 years ago. 5 years ago, my youngest moved out and was on her own. And it was the first time in 26 years that, let's see, they're like, 25 or 26 years that I had no kids in the house. Super excited. So I got myself a little sports car. I got myself a little Hyundai Veloster. So it had cute little sunroof, a moonroof. And suddenly I was seeing them everywhere. Why is that? Well, once my consciousness and my subconscious focused on that item, I then actually noticed it in my environment, but it had been there all along, right? So what ends up happening is you continuously will only notice the things that reinforce those belief systems. So you're not looking for the good. You're not looking for the opposite. You're going to look for the people and situations that will reinforce that you're broken. You don't deserve it. You're not worthy. There's something wrong with you, right? You're going to attract those people into your life that continuously keep to reinforce that. This does not allow you the space, the time, or even the energy to align with your higher purpose. These become super, super generalized, and I just I feel this because I've been there, and it's been such a journey of love and patience and appreciation for who I am as a human being that I've healed a lot of this. So now your relationship with the world, with people, with life, with your professional life, with your personal life, all of this is filtered through your past. It's filtered through your belief systems, and your belief systems, again, were survival mechanisms that you created in your body based on trauma, experiences, and responses. You're not able to experience things in the moment. So if you're not able to experience things in the moment, you definitely are not able to experience aligning with your higher purpose, right? So really getting clear on this. Now, when you meet people, now here's the thing that might make you feel like, what? You may have heard it, but a lot of people haven't. When you meet someone and you get the butterflies in your stomach and you're like, oh my God, he's the one or she's the one. Oh my gosh, I just feel so alive with them. You actually are not. What's happening is there's an essence about you that's authentic and true that is so amazing in there. And there's two things that happen. Number one is that individual is most likely going to be a toxic person that your body recognizes will create the situation that'll reinforce your belief that you're not lovable. So your body goes, ooh, that's familiar. I know how to deal with that. I've been living with that my whole life. Ooh, that's exciting. It's so exciting. You ever hear that term that women only love bad boys? Okay, it's just a term, but it's kind of true. Men also only love bad girls, right? Kind of thing. It's not that anyone's bad, but what it is that person is also wounded or having traumatic experiences that then show up in their limiting and their painful narratives. And that aligns with proving evidence and proving the truth of your painful belief systems. Your body gets excited by that. The reason why healthy, balanced people are not exciting to you is because and I say this from experience because I was there, is because we're addicted. We are addicted to our cortisol levels. We're addicted to the ATP that gives energy to our cells. So we need that roller coaster ride. And when we understand that that's a bit of an addiction, that people and experiences are addiction, just like smoking a cigarette or drugs or alcohol, we can look at that now and realize it's just a behavior. It's not who we are as a human being, but we get excited by that, right? So When we become super healed and whole in our nervous system, when we learn how to regulate our nervous system, when we take radical self-responsibility and we start to do the healing work on our body so that we can release these non-serving, painful narrative belief systems, we start to make room. We make room for who we are as an actual being. And who we are as an actual being is really beautiful. We are lovable. We are unique. We are amazing. And so when you get to learn that, then it changes your whole world. When you can see things that they're just behaviors that can change, and here's what's beautiful about this. Aligning with your higher purpose also means learning how to heal that trauma in your body, because when you shift and release that trauma, your behaviors and your thought processes will naturally change along with it. You don't have to force it. Suddenly, you're just not going to think that way because your body doesn't feel that way. What is misunderstood in the world is that we say mind over matter. I don't know if I fully agree with that. And the reason why is because 80% of our belief systems and experiences are stored in our physical being, in our nervous system. Only 20% is our mind. So our emotions and our feelings in our body create the thoughts in our mind. So if we have that belief system stored in our body, then it creates the stories that we start to make up in our mind around our situations. This is where we start focusing on the negative. We want to look and create stories around negative to reinforce the belief system that I'm not lovable, there's something wrong with me, and all people, fill in the blank, cannot be trusted. So as you see that, you can start to come into this higher understanding. Oh, these are just behaviors that I actually can change by healing my trauma, by healing my woundings, by healing my body, learning how to reconnect back to my body. By the way, numbing out is a very active process. So when we say, oh, I don't want to deal with my emotions and I don't want to have I just don't talk about myself, I'm numb, and you're proud of that, you're also exhausted. Because when you are actively covering up all of your emotions and your wounding and your traumas and your belief systems that aren't serving anymore, and you keep piling all this numbness on top, you're actively working really hard in your body to create that numbness. It is exhausting. It is an active process. It is not a passive process. So when you understand that, emotion is in motion, which means that if you can allow it to flow through and you can allow it to discharge, you'll actually expend less energy and have more energy. Isn't that crazy fun? So here's what I was looking for, but I got on that tangent, but it actually aligns with a lot of this stuff. Karma, the real definition of karma. This is going to be really fun for some of you. It doesn't actually originally mean what comes around goes around, right? So we've heard that karma, if I do bad, I get bad. What it actually means is that our painful narratives, our limiting beliefs, are programs that are continually running in the background, and they keep living themselves out over and over and over again in circles, and then we call that karma. When you do the healing work, when you actually regulate your nervous system, when you actually shift your whole beingness into a healthy, safe, regulated body, you become free from karma. You suddenly have awareness of those programs and those beliefs, and then you're free. You're free to make new choices and new decisions. And you're able to make more serving outcomes for yourself. Fate is similar. We like to have these situations over and over again, and we like to call them fate. It's really the same as karma. It's the painful narratives and belief systems playing out over and over again in our subconscious that then we call fate. Our unconscious programming starts to overshadow our conscious mind, which means that in essence, when we talk about free will, Creator, and we talk about this in all spirituality, we came to this planet to experience free will. But when we have these subconscious belief systems playing out over and over again, these painful narratives coming over and over again, you don't actually have free will, because those are actually making the decision for you. When we do the healing work, we actually open ourselves up to being in free will. Because now our woundings, our traumas, and our negative experiences, our trauma responses and our survival mechanisms are no longer playing out. Now we have free will to make higher conscious decisions, and we have choice. We actually have choice. Once we have all that in place, that allows us to align with our higher purpose. Because we can't live in the same life or in the same energy of these non-serving beliefs and serving beliefs in a way that really serves us. So this allows us to have that. So self-sabotage, right? So that's part of it. It's a reason to confirm or reinforce our core beliefs. So we actually are playing this out so we can reaffirm and we can reinforce these belief systems, these painful narratives, right? And so when we are able to heal those in our physical body and into our energy bodies and in our nervous system, then suddenly you wake up one day and say, wait a minute, I actually deserve to be happy. I deserve to have love. I deserve to be loved. And that is when you can start to connect to your higher purpose. Once you're in that state, you can actually learn how to tune into your intuition. And the reason why that's important is because for many people, what I have discovered, because I've been a peer counselor and a coach, embodiment and empowerment coach for many years, with that trauma background, is that we mistake being triggered with intuition. We actually think that what we're being triggered around in that situation, environment, or person is actually our intuition, right? So they do or say or something happens, and then we get this thought process that comes up that's like, they're just super toxic and they're not trustworthy. And we're like, my intuition says he's bad news. She's bad news. They're bad news. Intuition actually has no attachment to the outcome. It's just information flowing in from the higher source consciousness. So when you understand the difference, when you can actually feel in your body, okay, when you're truly experiencing getting information from intuition versus being triggered, your body feels very regulated. You can tune into where in your body you feel that intuition come in. So for me, I feel it in my solar plexus area. So that's the area where the bottom of the ribs and your diaphragm meet. In that area, I feel like this kind of warm feeling. And this is where I feel the energy comes in and the information flows through my brain or through my crown chakra and into my solar plexus. And I get the truth of universal truths. So I'll get intuitions like really simple. There's no outcome. There's no expectation. A prime example is a couple of years ago, my partner and I were borrowing my partner's sister's car while our car was getting fixed. And he was going to another country to do a training, and his sister made a comment that didn't actually refer to what I got information on. She said something, and my intuition went, oh, she's taking the car back. Like literally the information came in, it's like, oh, I read the energy, and it wasn't a trigger because I wasn't affected by it. It didn't matter to me. But what I got was she's going to take the car back while he's gone. And so we went in our room and I said, by the way, I got information just now. Your sister's going to take her car back. So I'll be without a car. So can we check and see if the car's going to be ready in time? Or he goes, no, she's not. She's not going to go. My intuition kicked in just now. And the information I received was that she's going to take the car back. And seems like, oh, well, how's that intuition? Well, because it was information. I didn't need to do anything with it with her, but it gave me information for me to make a higher, more serving decision for myself. It also allowed me to say, I know she's taking the car back, so I'm going to be proactive and make sure that I do the things I need to do to set myself up for success for the time that you're gone. If our car won't be ready in time and I have to go into the office to work, I'm going to set it up so that I can just do remote work. Because at that time I was a peer counselor. So what I did is I called the front desk and I went in that week anyway. And I said, hey, next week, I'm not going to have a car and I'm not going to take Uber because in the LA area, that's super pricey and it's just principal. I'm not going to pay $50 for a 5-minute ride. And so I said, hey, let's call everyone that I have for this week and see if they're willing to do a Zoom session. And if they're not, can we reschedule them to the next week? Because I won't be in office during this week. And my partner the whole time was like, no, she's not going to take the car back. And then when the time came for us to take him to the airport, she goes, I'm going to actually, you come and pick me up because I'm going to take you to the airport. And then I'm going to take my car back. And he was like, oh. And so what was interesting in that is that because I've learned to trust my intuition, he was like, you were right. She's taking her car back. I said, yeah, I know. Because my intuition told me so. And the reason why this is important to understand is when I got that intuitive information, and it's just information, I have the choice because I'm regulated in my nervous system. My higher purpose is to be with source energy and to come from a space of love. So my question then is, now that I have this information, how can I lovingly set myself up for success? And also, because of that, I'm not going to look at her and go, how could she take her car back? It's her car. I looked at it from a higher perspective and said, well, she doesn't know me that well. Of course she would take her car back. She let her brother borrow the car, not me. She hasn't known me for more than a few months at this time because we weren't living in the country until recently. And so she hasn't had a chance to get to know if she can trust me or not. And that's her car. And so looking at that from a higher perspective, developing and trusting my inner guidance allowed me to say, okay, I trust this information that just came in. And now I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I'm set up so I'm not caught in a bind because I know this is going to happen. And also I understand why it's happening with love for her and love for me, bigger picture. She doesn't know me yet. She hasn't had a chance to get to know me. So of course she doesn't feel comfortable leaving the car with me, and that's okay. No offense taken because it's not personal. And that's the other thing, right? Is learning that when you're learning how to align with your higher purpose is not taking other people's belief systems or behaviors personal because they are personal to them. They are never personal to you. You're just another person that they're living out and reinforcing their belief systems with, but it's not personal to you. It's only personal to them. And when you can start understanding that, you can look at it at a different perspective once you start doing your healing work. And so I did. I set myself up for success. I had all of my clients on Zoom for the week. I had all the food I needed, so I didn't have to run to the store. I had myself set up and I was able to kind of have a staycation. It was great. And my partner's like, I can't believe that you were so pine on for that. But what it also did is it started teaching him that he can trust my intuition. Now, when I have intuitive thoughts, or sometimes things will just come out of my mouth that I didn't realize I said out loud that was an intuitive hit. He'll be like, oh, let me go check that right away. I go, what? And he's like, I have now learned that when you randomly say things out of nowhere, it's your intuition kicking in and they're 99.9% right. So I trust that and I'm going to go check because maybe something happened or maybe there's something that we need to do proactively to protect that or whatever, right? Whatever the case is. So double check that with someone because maybe that is going to change. So learning to connect with that. Now that can happen and we can't be in a higher purpose if we're not in a deeply regulated, healed state of our body. Not to say you have to be fully healed. I'm not fully healed. I'm like probably 90% healed, but I have 90% more room of healed, regulated nervous system. So I can come from a state of more love. And this is a grounded, healthy love. This isn't love and light. This is a grounded, healthy love of being aware of my surroundings and having choices, knowing that I can show up in the world as my unique individual self, and I don't have to pretend to be anyone else for anybody else. And I get to belong, not just fit in. So then after that, I kind of talked on this, aligning actions with values. So once you really let go of all these core belief systems and narratives, when you're able to heal the physical body from this, and you're now able to bring in new beliefs that are serving and more healthy and more higher vibrational choices, your actions begin to align with your values. Now you get to say, my value is that I am only going to be in environments that are loving because I deserve to be loved. I'm only going to be in environments now or engaging with people who are respectful because I deserve to be respected, because I am now healed and whole and I'm respectful. And now I expect because we're human, you do get to have expectations, right? And the expectation is, I am not available. And this also is a boundary. Now, boundaries are different than expectations. Expectations are what you want the outcome to be, regardless of who's in it. You can have expectations for yourself, but it's not serving when you put expectations on others. My expectation is that when I honor my boundary and I say I'm not available to yelled at or be engaged in toxic behavior, and if the other individuals around me choose to keep doing that, I get to remove myself. Then my expectation for myself is that I will be more in peace because I'm choosing that over everything else. I get to choose to not be available for that kind of behavior. And if the others won't want to change it, they don't have to. But then I get to leave and be in an environment that's more serving of my higher purpose, which is being in a state of love. That also means I get to do the healing work so that I can be in that state and start to really enjoy being peaceful and happy. Healing your woundings in your nervous system is so important. And I have been doing spirituality work for so long, and I have to say that what I have found is that once we are really healed in the 3D world, in the physical body, spirituality blossoms, and it blossoms different for everyone. So aligning your actions with your values. So what is your value? Once you're clear, you can find your values. One of my values is radical self-responsibility. I am so deeply valuing that for myself, and it is a core value I have with others. If they are not in radical self-responsibility as well, then there's a high likelihood that we won't be friends. Or if you're a client and you're not taking radical self-responsibility, I'm going to present you with the information, but I probably won't keep working with you. And the reason why is because I already know I'm not going to help you because you're not ready to be helped. If you're not taking radical self-responsibility, then anything I do, no matter how profound or wise it is, you're not going to find value in it, and you're going to say it's not working. And the reason why is because you're not willing to do the work. And so then I'm not helping you. And with love, like with deep, radical, unconditional love, I need to free you to go see someone that can help you. I get to free you. And it might feel like, ouch, you don't want to work with me? No, it's not that. You're not in radical self-responsibility. And that's okay. You are wherever you are in your journey, but working with me requires that. And you're not going to get help from me. You're going to then be upset because you're not getting helped. But it's not that I'm not helping them. They're not wanting to help themselves yet. And I get to make my higher purpose of really helping others to find their deep healing, to be in that process of aligning with their higher purpose. That's part of my purpose, is teaching others how to deeply love themselves and be the most healed, whole version of themselves. And if they're not in that space, then I need to let them go to make space for someone who does want that. And that will be more serving for all of us, because that person then gets to find someone who can help them. Impact of spiritual alignment on daily life. So once you do that, as you're hearing, I already been discussing all of that. It spreads everywhere. When you start to do that deep healing work, when you come into that alignment with your higher purpose. Now, higher purpose doesn't always mean what your skill set is, but you can get to that higher purpose of connecting with source energy, connecting with your intuition, connecting with your love. Like, it's literally a state of being in that state of being of love. You get there with your own unique abilities. So what are some practices that you can actually do? So first and foremost, to get to that, right? Of course, meditation. For many of you, you have a very difficult time meditating. I've heard that all the time. I'm going to break that down a little bit. There's 3 stages of meditation. I know I've already talked about this before, but first stage is all thoughts come. You sit down, okay, I'm going to meditate. All right, I'm ready. Breathing in, breathing out. Oh crap, do I have to go to the store today? If I do, okay, what do I have to get at the store? Okay. Breathing in, okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, I'm meditating. Oh shit, I have to clean the kitchen today. And man, the sink is full of dishes. Like did I empty the dishwasher? Oh my gosh. What time is it? I think I have to actually get that report turned into work today. Oh my gosh, I forgot to do it last night. Oh, I have homework due. Oh my gosh. Did I call Susie back? Oh my gosh. Did I call her back? Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, I did. I called her back. Okay. I'm meditating. First stage, all thoughts come. Second stage, all those thoughts I just said. Oh, okay. Well, that goes in the compartmental of housework. That one goes in the compartment of returning phone calls. Okay. That one goes into the to-do list for work. That one goes in the to-do list for school or college. That one goes into those all get compartmentalized now, right? We start to learn like, okay, all those thoughts that are coming in, they're not random, they're not chaotic, there's reason for them. So we start to put them in little compartments. And that's less important, intermediate important, super important, right? Okay. So once I'm done meditating, those are really important. I'll pick those back up, right? Third stage. Now we prioritize our thoughts, right? Thoughts never stop coming. But instead of them being chaotic, instead of them being now compartmentalized, now what it is, okay, I have all those thoughts there, but that's not the most important right now. My priority in this moment, in this meditation, is to contemplate on connecting to my higher self and wisdom, to experience what I need to experience today, to know how to live in my higher purpose in this moment. And then allowing yourself to just be in that moment. You're still thinking, because even if you're thinking of nothing, it's something. Nothing is something. So prioritizing. So when you understand that, start with 1 minute a day of meditation. If you're not able to sit still, there's all kinds of forms of meditation. Taking a walk is meditative. Listening to an audiobook while walking, meditative. Vacuuming and listening to something on your phone and great music that gets you flowing is meditation. Gardening, meditation. Driving, meditative. You can actively meditate. You can be more in a state of conscious awareness and doing meditative eating, slowing down, making notice, paying attention to your breath. There's so many different ways you can meditate, and we're told the only way to meditate is to sit still and think of nothing. And that's not true. So find what your meditation looks like. What I'm going to invite you to do is find what activity or state of being can you be in today that puts you in that autopilot zone. Are you really good at being on autopilot and going to nowhere land when you're sweeping, when you're vacuuming, when you're sitting still? Now, inviting you not to do busy mind work, right? So don't watch TV, don't read a book, but you can listen to a book, you can listen to the radio, because a lot of times we'll hear it in the background and it just gives us that background noise to begin to focus more, right? To be more in flow. So discover for yourself with curiosity, no judgment, what can I do or be that allows me to go into that state of flow? And then do that regularly and use that as your meditation time. So that's a really great practice, because that's when you start to tune in to what your abilities are, what your gifts are, and then what is your higher purpose, right? We're always wanting to find out, what is my higher purpose? I need the answers now. Well, part of being in your higher purpose is not trying to have answers today, but being in present moment. Another way that this begins to, or another experience or way that you can actually practice this is journaling. But I'm going to have a different journaling prompt for you today. So journaling, and I actually am creating a PDF for this particular one. So what I'm going to invite you to do is there are some journal prompts, but then there's an extra page in the PDF where I say free writing. So what that means is you're going to write without lifting your pen off the paper. You're going to write and you're going to just keep writing. If you have nothing to say, just say, I have nothing to say. This is stupid. I don't know what to do. Like, just keep writing whatever's coming through your mind. What it does is, and write it with a pen, not with typing. And the reason why is they have shown studies that when you're writing with your hand, pen to paper, it begins to connect to your subconscious. Right. Set the timer for 5 minutes. You'll soon realize that once you start doing this is so stupid, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. This is silly. I don't know what to write. Keep writing. I'm writing. Okay, keep writing. I'm going to keep writing. You know what? Today has been so hard for me because blah, blah, blah. And then you suddenly but what it is, your pen to arm went straight to the subconscious. Now your subconscious is talking. Write it all out. Don't even look at it. It's only one page I'm going to put in the PDF. So please, I invite you to get a journal. Practice this free writing technique. Now, here's where I'm going to give you a little tool. Once you do that, do not go back and read it for at least 24 hours. I want you to set it down. And I want you, so if you're having a problem or conscious, like, what is my higher purpose? Write everything out. Let it just brain dump. Let your subconscious dump all over the page. Don't read it. Walk away. Take a walk. Do some self-care stuff. Leave it there for a day or two, maybe even a week. And then I invite you to come back and reread what you journaled. And then you're going to sit down and you're going to answer yourself by writing out with your non-dominant hand. So you write with your dominant hand. So if you're right-handed, write with the right hand. You're left-handed, write with the left hand. When you respond to yourself, write with the hand you don't normally write with. This activates your higher self for you to come into your higher purpose and to get your answers. So then you're going to read that prompt once you've sat with it for a day or two or even a week, and you answer yourself with your non-dominant hand. This is going to feel weird. You might get giggly. You might get frustrated. I invite you to just keep doing it. And then just be in contemplation. What does contemplation mean, right? Contemplation means you put the question out there, and then you just let it be out in the ethers. And then you give yourself permission. You say, I want to know what my higher purpose is. And then I'm going to invite you to create what's called bridging language. So when we're creating new habits and behaviors, once we have started emptying, and you can start all this now. You don't have to be fully healed and whole to start all this now. This will actually help you to begin to release. This was a lot of techniques I did that helped me get on my pathway to start healing. Sometimes we need a little boost. Put that question out there, and then you're going to say in a bridging language, I'm open to any and all possibilities and answers coming from all sources that are in my highest and best good to receive regarding what my higher purpose is. And I fully intend to pay attention and to hear, see, feel, and experience these answers in any form and way that they come in. And like a little kid in the candy store, start looking for the answers in ways that are fun. Not that you're looking like, I can't find it, but wow, is it going to show up today? I'm so excited. Maybe I'll hear it on the radio station, or maybe someone will say something that stokes my memory. And when something lands and you go, ooh, what was that? Write it down really quick. Don't worry about looking at it. Just write down the information that starts flowing in all different ways for like a week. This is part of being in contemplation, right? Is you're not trying to find the answer today. You're just sitting with the answer. And when you sit in the answer long enough, or the question long enough, when you sit in the question long enough, then all kinds of answers start to come. Once you have all this, you begin to really connect to your unique spirituality, whatever that looks like for you. You might start practicing witchcraft. Now, some people are like, oh, but for most people, traditional witchcraft is not about being in the dark. It's about learning to connect with the land, learning to connect with spell casting, which, by the way, we all do it. When you are spelling things out, you're casting spells. What is that? It's just quickly, in real world modern time, intentions being sent out to the universe to manifest. You might practice Buddhism, or you might find a little piece of Buddhism and Hinduism and even Christianity, or none of the above, or shamanism, or animism, or whatever. Be open to collecting the things that feel true and resonate with you, and just utilize those. Coming into deep appreciation of all the different richness of cultures and belief systems that are out there. We don't have to appropriate them. We get to appreciate them, and then we get to individualize. So we get to go out there and have a deep appreciation for all these different belief systems. And what I invite you to do is start to collect the things that uniquely resonate with you and just utilize those. Learning what makes you you. Learning what makes you the most spiritual version of you. And being open to that. Now, that might look like you dive fully into a certain belief system for a little while. And then as you're there for a little while, you think, well, I really resonate with this, and this practice, but I definitely didn't resonate with that, and that. Great. Well, then Continue to practice the things that resonated as true for you and don't with the rest. Move on to the next experience. Giving yourself the permission to just expand into and finding that unique pathway of spirituality that is custom made just for you. This is part of living in your higher purpose. That will show up in your professional life. It'll show up in your personal life. It'll show up in every day in your experiences, your career choices. When you start to become your most authentic self, you will make decisions from a space of choice, of highest best serving, and it will become life-changing. Thank you for listening today. There will be a guided meditation that I'm going to be putting on here right after this. So please stay tuned. Don't go. Even though I'm done with my talking part, that meditation is going to come up. So if you have an opportunity, I invite you to do this in a space where you can sit down and lie down without any interruptions and just allow yourself to be guided through this guided journey. And also on the show notes, there will be a link for you to download that guided meditation for you to keep. It's going to go into my website and it's free. It is a gift from me to you. I also created a lovely PDF to go with that in case you want visuals and like to write. So please feel free to download as well. And the channeling session that I had around this will also be posted in the show notes with a link for you to download that and to listen to it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to the next episode with you. The next episode is going to be all about the power of mindful awareness in your daily life. So have a wonderful day on purpose, and I will talk to you soon. Inviting you to either sit down in a comfortable space where you can be there for a while or lie down. If it feels available to you, hi, and welcome to your guided meditation, connecting with your higher self. My name is Tara Cridlin, and this is for Fearless Spirit. Hi, and welcome to your guided meditation of connecting with your higher self. I invite you to find a comfortable position where you can sit down for a period of time or even lie down. Either close your eyes or softly gaze just beyond your nose. And just take a few deep breaths, breathing in through your nose. And exhale gently and slowly out of your mouth. Now do that again and see if you can breathe in your nose even deeper into your lungs, maybe to the bottom of your lungs. And now exhale everything out nice and slow. Breathing in again through your nose, see if you can bring that down to your belly. And exhale out your mouth. And one more time, breathing in nice and deep in your nose. Bringing it all the way down to your pelvis, maybe even down to your toes. And then gently exhale out of your mouth as long and slow as possible. Now imagine roots growing from your tailbone, your hips, and maybe even the bottom of your feet. And begin to see those roots going down through the floor, down into the earth. And as those roots get down into the earth, begin to see them getting bigger and wider and spreading out. And as they go down into the earth, maybe you see other roots of trees and plants, and you start to feel their loving energy. And their roots connect with yours, helping you ground in even deeper. Feeling your roots begin to go down further and further into the ground. And see them grow even bigger and wider. And begin to feel this pulsation of energy from the center of the earth, magnetizing and pulling you down. Feeling your roots going down deeper and deeper until they reach the center of the earth. And when they do, your roots either plug in or wrap around the center of the earth, anchoring you to Mother Earth. And you begin to feel this warm, loving, nourishing energy that fills up your beautiful big roots from the center of the earth. And those roots begin to suck that energy up higher and higher. And as this energy begins to fill your roots, you feel this aliveness, this nourishment. And it goes up through the earth and through the floor and begins to fill up your body. Feeling this loving, nourishing aliveness as it fills up your entire body from your toes to the top of your head. This beautiful, nourishing, loving energy. Maybe there's a color. Maybe it's gold or green, pink, purple, whatever color feels alive and calling to you. And as that fills you up, it begins to spill out and around you, encircling you with this beautiful bubble of energy. Beginning to feel this sense of safety and support, of love, having this energy in you and all around you, feeling like you're floating in this bubble of protection. And now feel the top of your head begin to spin open. And as your crown chakra opens up, you feel this warm golden light from the cosmos begin to pour down into your crown chakra, opening up through the bubble there, into your crown, into your body. And this energy begins to swirl with the earth energy, creating even more protection, even more aliveness, even more love. And as you feel this energy intertwining and merging with earth energy, you begin to feel this deep awakening of your heart center. Feeling all this energy that's around you, within you, begin to warm your heart center. And maybe you see this bright, beautiful color green begin to radiate and circle and vibrate out the front and the back of your heart, opening up. Feeling now your roots, your crown, and your heart deeply connected together so that now you are deeply rooted to the earth and lovingly connected to the heavens above. And imagine in this beautiful light that this beautiful white crystalline light begins to flow down into your crown chakra. And it begins to expand out, giving yourself permission to let it go into every cell of your being and expand out. And as it does that, your whole being begins to expand out. Begin to feel you becoming bigger, wider, and more expansive. Feeling you begin to become the earth, the sky, expanding out into the stars, all the way to the farthest corners of the cosmos. And now feeling this inquiry or this questioning from your being, connecting out to the farthest corner of the cosmos. And feeling this sentient or wise energy connecting back to you. Feeling your higher self, you, your whole being, your vastness, connecting to this energy of universal wisdom. Inviting you now to ask the question, if I am pure love, what is my purpose here on this planet, in this life? And as you ask that question, see the energy of that question just expand out, becoming little sparkles of light, expanding out to the farthest corners of the universe. Feeling that sense of it being heard. Inviting you to just lie here. And as that energy in that question reaches the farthest sense, the farthest corners of the cosmos, if I am pure love, what is my purpose here on this planet, in this life? Start to notice little ways that the universe is responding back to you. Allowing yourself to just be in this openness mode, letting things, impressions, feelings, visualizations, thoughts, sounds, whatever begins to trickle in, just let it trickle in, inviting you to just be open, allowing yourself not to think too much, but instead to just be open, just receive. Let it just keep trickling in. Beginning to listen for any insights. Again, seeing any visuals, maybe feeling or hearing words, feeling feelings or sensations. Just let that all just flow in. Let it come up and out. Knowing that your guides are here to assist you and to help you, and all that is coming in is for you. I'm going to allow you a few moments to just receive the information. And now just gently allowing the last bits of wisdom, insights to begin to trickle in. Giving yourself permission that you will remember all that is really important for you. Letting that begin to integrate and vibrate into all of your cells. Thanking the universe, creator, whoever you're connected to, your higher self. Thanking all of the information that came in today for you and on your behalf. And gently begin to see all of you that was expanded out come back into the Earth's atmosphere. Feeling that energy you put out now coming in closer and closer to your body, pulling yourself back in. allowing that energy to now come back inside that protective bubble of light. Feeling that wisdom begin to vibrate and become part of your cells and your beingness. Feel that begin to seep into all of your tissues and your energy and your nervous system, trusting that the wisdom will come when you need it the most. Being open to all of these ideas, insights, and wisdom that will begin to pop up and out throughout the next week or so. And just noticing all the different things that came in, that are going to come in, that will continue to flow in. Thank your higher self and your guides, whoever you are connected to, give them thanks for connecting with you today. Become aware of your body again, maybe feeling the heaviness of your thighs and your back, your hips as you sit in the chair or on the floor, or maybe you're lying down. So become aware of the whole back of your body and the weight of you in that surface. Maybe notice the quality of your breath. Maybe you notice the way your clothes feel against your skin. Slowly bring yourself back into this space here and now, wiggling your fingers and your toes, and take a deep breath in again, exhaling it out your mouth. And when you're ready, coming back into your space by slowly fluttering your eyes open, feeling refreshed and aligned. And knowing now that your higher purpose is beginning to reveal itself to you little by little, day by day. Thank you for joining me on this journey. My name is Tara Cridland. If you'd like to learn more, go to my website at goldensouljourney.com. Have a beautiful day on purpose or a wonderful sleep tonight.